Welcome to BCB Live. Yes, we are that safest station in the nation. Welcome to BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. Welcome on this Easter good. It's Easter week.
Why is it Easter week?
Well, you got your colors on.
No, that's just a color, Rick. It's just a color.
I thought we were going Easter colors to get drive safe, Dave.
Go Easter. Is that your Easter color?
This is everyday color for Sir Rick.
Okay,
because
well,
every day starts with safety, according to the world of Sir Rick. Every day is all about safety. And if it takes me, Drive Safe Dave, going out yellow in the world, I will yellow you to death. I'll be your banana. I'll be the yellow piss in the snow, Drive Safe Dave. Whatever it takes for me to get the word of safety out is what I'll do.
Yeah, I got my safety. I got the flag man out. I've got the recognition of that sign on the road.
And the flag man's telling you, that's like when you're finishing, right? Go fast when you see the flag man because you're getting to the finish line. Go fast, right?
It's a black flag. It's not. You see the black flag, right? What does that mean in racing?
What does that mean?
I don't know. It means you can't.
Is there even a black flag out in racing?
I think there's a black flag.
I don't think there is. Drive Safe Dave.
Guten
Schlafen, Fosters.
Yeah, es war sehr wunderbar.
So, welcome back to the United States of America, Drive Safe. Tell us real quick about your trip.
Well, flew into Munich, Germany, and then went down the Danube River all the way through Germany, Austria, Slovakia, and in Hungary.
Let me tell you, it is tough being Drive Safe, Dave. He's a well-traveled human being, Drive Safe.
Yeah.
First class both ways, I'm going to assume?
It was.
Wow. I spare no expense, Drive Safe, Dave. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about your vacation, but Drive Safe, Dave, when we get back from the break, we're also going to hop into a little bit. We have fuel. We have some purchases going on still with Yellow, right? People buying out the property, and we have some other things too. We're going to come back to you in about 30 seconds with some more BCB Live.
The safest station in this nation.
The nation or this nation? All right, hey, check it out. Here we are live right here in Mansfield, Texas, our BCB Live studio. What I really love about this place right now are the endless opportunities, the endless ways that you can use this studio. Hey, welcome back to the 2023 Pickle Parade. BCB Live, we started out really focused on that transportation, that trucking only. Talking about safety, making sure that we're giving that story about safety. We have the ability to do interviews, social media content, sales opportunities. What are you showcasing? What are you doing today that you've got to get that out? Hey, welcome back to BCB Live. Drive Safe, Dave. You said this nation, but I'm going to tell you, we are international, brother. We are all over this globe right here. And it's not just this nation that we're the safest station, Drive Safe. We're in your station in Honduras.
Then say all.
Huh?
Then say all.
That's not the logo. Come on now, or the copyrighted words there. In the nation. Hey, Drive Safe Dave, let's just hop into it. We did have Old Dominion come back in and go over the top a little bit of Estes on these terminals from Yellow Freight Line.
Yeah, Estes was at 1.3. Old Dominion jumped in and said, hey, you know what? We'll up it a little bit to 1.5 for the properties that are out there in the liquidation.
Is it 1.5 what?
Billion.
Billion, yeah. And you got to think this, is those have all truly been paid for, right? They've had them for years, probably 50 years. Things have been paid for forever. That's one of the places, the locations where they're expected to get some of that money to pay the money due to the vendors out there.
Not only the vendors, but also to the shareholders. Yep. The shareholders the people with common stock want money in return. They want their value to be solidified in the investment that they have.
They do. And Drive Safe Dave, also in addition, we have some news about Marathon.
Oh yeah, in Garyville, Louisiana, just out there west of New Orleans, this fire, one of the largest oil refineries in the United States, going on right now. They're fighting. They're going to shut this down. They don't know for how long. This actually produces 4% of the United States' fuel, and that's both diesel and also gasoline. So this refinery does both, and it also stores quite a bit. So that means it's going to be a little bit more restriction on the amount of fuel that's going
And
out
does that mean rate increases immediately?
Absolutely. Even the threat of it is going to increase.
Yeah, isn't that funny when you see that? Just a threat of some of these things, how it really does increase the price on that. We'll keep a close look on that, tomorrow into the next day. But we have seen fuel anyway continue its march north. Drive safe, Dave.
Yeah, and it's going to continue as now that we enter into hurricane season, and we actually have one. It looks like we'll go back and we'll do the weather later on today, but it looks like we're going to see a tropical storm enter into the Gulf and make landfall in the United States later on this week.
It's been a quiet season. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. A quiet season on the hurricane side, starting to make their play. Florida seems to be getting the brunt of everything right now,
right.
or even in the near future on that. We also had the folks from the Panama on the show on Friday. We had some technical difficulties, but Drive Safe Dave, basically, we have a rainforest that hasn't seen much rain this year.
Yeah, they're in a severe drought. And what's really funny about the Panama Canal is what I was reading is this is a much different type canal and lock system than most other places in the world, like the Suez that uses salt water to pump up and to fill that canal up. They actually use rainwater, fresh water, to fill up the canal and also to do the lock system as you both go up and down. So the lack of rainfall means they can't put as many ships into the canal as they have, and now they're starting to back up out there, and they've doubled the amount of number and the number of days out there already. You're going to see a restriction, they said, for 10 months.
Yeah, so what you see is about 4 to 5 less ships traveling through, right, every single day, and it just adds up. Because you can't all of a sudden just turn it on and bring in 45 or 50. It's about 36, 38, and we're bringing in about 30 right now. So just a few ships a day is all it takes for this to really kind of backlog. Dave, I looked out there the other day, and so it seemed like a lot of oil out there, a lot of not necessarily cargo ships, but some of them bulk container ships as well.
Yeah, they said that now that they've made this announcement, they maybe should start to see some of those being diverted to other port of entries. So we may be seeing some of those going and even trucking it across or railing it across the United States. If this is going to be a problem as we move into that Christmas season when all these packages are going to be due in. So you're going to see a lot of these things. And what I was reading, it was very interesting, is that they're parking some of these container ships, offloading them on one side of the canal, training them all the way to the other, and then reloading them on the backside.
Yeah, and it's just you know what? Sometimes you got to think outside the box to make something happen. It's not that big. And again, one of the questions for the captain on Friday that we just didn't get to ask, like, all right, dude, seriously, you have 2 oceans on either side of you. Right. How can you not figure this part out? But Dave, they do rely on the rainwater right there.
Yeah, that absolutely. It's one of the most intriguing lock systems in the world.
Global warming, is it true or is it false?
This is El Nino. Yes.
That's what El Nino is the thing. But Dave, is this world suffering for all the deodorant you used to spray on?
Yes,
the hairspray.
It doesn't help.
The Aquanet. Is that the reason where we
Arid extra dry? Yeah,
extra
it does
dry.
not help. Don't let them see you sweat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, drive safe, Dave. Let's just hop into a little bit of weather right now. I know we have hurricanes going in. We want to spend a little time on this.
Right. Out here on the East Coast, you see the one that's moving up through the East Coast. This one's actually going to move up along the East Coast, going to create flows along the East Coast. They're going to have high water. But as we see this starting to, look at the weather starting to change as this tropical depression is going to move up and move in off of the southeast side. They anticipate 5 to 7 inches of rain as it moves up from Florida to Georgia into the Carolinas. 5 to 7 inches of rain is quite a bit of rain, but I will tell you, Rick, it doesn't look like this is going to get much of anything out here as this high pressure system has moved a little bit to the west, and then it's going to move back in.
Dave, we think about trucking companies, the truckers out there, weather such as this, right, hurricanes. Hey, how does that really affect them? Because, if they're not down here, what difference does it make, Dave?
Well, it makes a lot of difference because they have to be rerouted. And also, Rick, just the threat of a hurricane is going to raise fuel prices. Also, even if you're in that area or around that area, if you have power outages, you can't fuel.
Yep.
You can't go to customers. You can't do that. And so a lot of things are going to take place that affect the entire country, especially when we see hurricanes hit the coast.
Yeah, and it's no different than when it hits the Gulf Coast. You're hitting down there in Texas or Louisiana. It doesn't just hit there and just go away,
No.
right? It just keeps going, and Mississippi's involved, and all of a sudden, all these states begin. Georgia sees a lot of these storms, and we're talking the big cities, Atlanta. So the storms, it's critical as well because they just keep going. They don't stop there, Dave. Sometimes it's still a hurricane, 200 or 300 miles inland.
Yeah, and then it usually downgrades to a tropical storm. But tropical storms have a lot of moisture. They dump a ton of moisture. You can still have huge and heavy winds, right, Rick? You can have tornadoes that spin out. You can have lightning that is very dangerous. And you can also have large amounts of rain. And you know what? People drown. They just forget where they're going. They're in a hurry to evade it, and they do drown. So you got to be really careful, really mindful. And truck drivers, you can't drive through deep water either. Believe that. Don't put your truck in that jeopardy. If you can't tell the depth of the water, turn around. Don't go in. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Drive safe, Dave. Still heat going on inside of Texas and throughout the states as well, although it is beginning to cool off a little bit. It's almost September, drive safe, Dave. We can't break the hundreds. It's hot.
Yeah, and we're going to see a little bit more of the hot temperatures later on in the week and into next week. You're going to see triple digits here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But we are going to get a little reprieve for you, sir, Rick. You're going to get 98, 96, and 95
I will take that all day.
You
know what?
Like
I am
golf,
so ready for
the
the 90s. Anything in the 90s I'm good with. Hey, drive safe, Dave. We have a couple of minutes here. Hey, let's talk a little bit. Hey, what was anything catch you off guard on vacation? Anything like, I didn't expect this? I know you've been there before. What was anything odd?
I'll tell you, you go into a place like Hungary, and it was formerly the Eastern Bloc, right? So you can definitely see the infrastructure. You can tell also by the architectural design and the creation. They did suffer a lot of damage during World War II. Guess who built up after immediately following? It was the Soviets that built up. You can definitely tell a difference between a regular building and one that the Soviets built up. It looks like a prison. Every one of them looks like a prison. And also the amount of economic strife that's still going on in places like Hungary and Czechia, we don't even understand it. They had 27% inflation. Earlier this year, they actually announced while we were there on television that they feel like they have successfully beat back inflation at 17%.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, the exchange rate, one of the reasons they aren't a member of the EU, in a sense with the euro, it's because it takes 350 florins to make $1. So their exchange rate is horrible, and if they were to change over, it would be much like what Turkey did. It would crush their economy. So you got to be really careful about that right now.
Sound of Music. Talk to me about the museum. Did you go check out the Sound of Music?
I did. Well, what we did was when we went to Salzburg, we did go to Salzburg, where Sound of Music was all. We saw the fountains, we saw the stairs, we saw the places where some of the scenes were.
Could you just not help but sing Drive Safe?
There were a couple of. We went to a performance.
Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
I even sent you.
Every morning you greet me.
Yeah. So we went to a performance of music for Sound of Music. It's really strange. Most of the Austrians, when you mention Sound of Music, they look at you with this dumbfounded look, like, are you another American asking me about Sound of Music? Right. But it's really neat, some of the history and all of that stuff that goes on there.
The Von Trapp family, real? Were they a real family?
They were real. In fact, Mrs. Von Trapp actually was in the movie of Sound of Music. She was an extra in the movie. I bet you didn't know that. She was actually an extra in the movie.
I knew it.
And but anyway, there was a lot of stuff that I was more interested, believe it or not, I was more interested in the Habsburg dynasty. I was going through there. They ruled for 600, 700 years over there. And I got to go into some great armory museums. I got to go see a lot of different things and dive deep into the history of what went over there in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, so you're probably alone inside those museums, I'd imagine, right? Just drive safe, Dave, all by yourself. Where was the wife out drinking?
No, the wife was out.
Sitting at the bar.
The wife was, when we were in the armory.
Why am I with this guy?
Yeah, we were in there for about an hour and a half. She finally looked at me and she goes, "Really? I mean, is that enough knights? Is that enough armor? Are you good?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So,
Did you make mention about you work with a knight?
Huh? Oh, yeah, we did. They actually asked about you, Rick. They're ready to They want to know where your armor is.
Pretty big deal. You know what? This is my armor right here, Drive Safe Dave. I am strong in this yellow. Hey, listen, we want y'all to be safe out there today. We appreciate you getting back. And, Dave, thank you for sharing some of your life with us here. You know, we all look up to you. We all live through you, sir.
Oh, please. I did this. It was my wife's, it was our 10th year anniversary. So we went over there and celebrated some of that. So.
All right. Y'all stay safe out there. Make it successful today and be a leader out there on the roadway. Be a leader for your other brothers and sisters out there that are driving. Do something different. And when I say different, Drive Safe Dave, I'm saying, hey, do it the right way. Watch your speed space. And for crying out loud, always make a point to get out and look.
Yeah, do yourself a favor everywhere, all the time, and try to be the very best that you can be. You know, you can improve today what you did yesterday. You can always get better.
I had a perfect day yesterday.
Yeah.
Hard to improve on that. But I will give it all I got. Y'all stay safe. Enjoy your local shows. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.